Hey traders, I'm here again. So we had a pretty long video yesterday with all the new trade setups. Things have moved on, so we're going to be monitoring our stops on the trades we have running at the moment. But before that, we want to have a little look at Bitcoin or cryptos. Basically, we've had a little pop to the downside. So we were looking at this trend line a few days ago, and yeah. It's plopped through, and see, Bitcoin is a weird thing. It's like, the way I see Bitcoin, it's like this really hot girl that you want, and she sort of wants you. You definitely want her. She sort of wants you, or she likes to make you think that she wants you. So you think you're in there with a chance, and you do all the right things, and then all of a sudden she blows you off, and she's constantly hot and cold, hot and cold. That's how I find Bitcoin with myself when it comes to technical analysis. So as you've seen, with my FX alerts, you know, the FX market sticks to technical analysis beautifully. So we've had quite a lot of setups, and yeah, it's doing its thing. But with Bitcoin, it's pretty much 50-50. Like, I spent a few hours the other night just going through all the different patterns I could see. So for example, let's take this sort of pattern here. So I'd be looking at this one here and go, right, okay, so technically speaking, this should go to the downside. Okay, well, not that far. It should pop down to this level here, but it didn't. So what I then did is I went through all the times where the market in Bitcoin had this pattern and played out, and I did it with that pattern. I did it with all sorts. I mean, looking at this one here, I can see another one. So this is another pattern where it's that. So it's really bad drawing, but it's basically ascending wedge in a rising market. Again, that is also a reversal signal, and it didn't. And there's just so many times where Bitcoin doesn't listen to technical analysis like it should, like pretty much any other market does. But what it does, it teases you every now and then. Every now and then, it'll set itself up for a pattern where everyone goes, oh, it's this pattern, and guess what? It does it, and every single time Bitcoin follows through one of those patterns, people's faith in technical analysis on Bitcoin is restored. Like, here's a double top, really shitty looking one, but it followed through, and everyone's double top. Here's a inverted head and shoulders. This is an example where it did what it said on the tin. Here's another double bottom, shitty double top, etc. So it shows you a few times where it works, but then there's many, like, I can find just as many occasions where it just ignores it. So this is why I don't have that much confidence with TA at the moment when it comes to Bitcoin. I think that because it's such a small, tiny market, there really isn't that much volume in it. Now, people mistake me when I say volume, because people go, oh, there's not much volume in it, but you know, it's gone from $200 billion of, you know, an extra $52 billion to come in, blah blah blah. Yeah, when I talk about volume, I'm not looking about the total amount of capital that's ploughed in. Don't forget that that is amplified as well by normally a factor of 20. So if you have $252 billion, divide that by 20, realistically speaking, there's probably only most likely around $12 billion of actual hard cash in the market, and the rest is amplified. So, but when I say volume, there's no, you know, whenever I say there's no volume in the crypto market, what I mean is that there's barely anyone trading it. As in, the amount of people that are trading it is very few. So all that's happening is all the big boys are playing with it. So yes, there's lots of volume jumping in and out, but it's done by very few hands. As we all know, that, you know, 50% of the world's Bitcoin wealth is held by 40 people or 40 wallets, and we don't even know who owns all of those wallets. I mean, some of those wallets could be owned by the same person. So there's a huge concentration of wealth. I mean, the rich-poor divide in crypto land is even worse than any country on the planet. So, so yeah. So this is why, yeah, it's interesting. I find this is like a little dirty temptress, which you should just leave alone. So So really it's fundamentals. Again, there's not really that many big fundamentals going for it, despite, you know, this doubling in price recently. However, that takes us where we are now, and so the obvious, or the question we're all thinking of is what happens now. Again, when you put your trading hat back on, the trading hat, like the proper trading hat, goes right. Well, massive support. Oh, why is it only done half? Stamp, one sec. Massive support at the 6,000 level, and it's not just there. It's also really there's a band. There's a band of. That's why. Let's get a little doodle pen out. Let's make it red. So basically there's a level of support, or a band of support around this level here. So what we should be seeing, technically speaking, is that the market should move down to this level, you know, into this band, and then I've done too much doodling here. So what we should be seeing is a move down into this level, whether it's here or whether it's further on, and then technically that's what should be happening. Will it happen? Probably not. But the thing is, one thing I've always said from day one, well, for decades, at least a decade, is that it's the high time frame charts which have the which are more reliable. I wouldn't look at something like a monthly chart. There's really not enough data, and on a monthly scale things happen in years. On a weekly scale things also happen in years, but it gives you a slightly better picture, and this is what the weekly is showing. And so what the weekly is basically indicating is that we should see a pullback at least to the 50% level, i.e. the 6,000, and a lot of people will be no doubt playing with fib, and they're going right low all the way to the high. Where's the 50% level? Oh, look at that. The 50% level is on the 6,000. The next key level is here on the 7,000. So this is a no, so that's my line. I'm just going to get rid of my lines for the moment. Yeah, the 38.2% retrace is down here, very close to the 7,000 level. So it's all rather convenient. So just idiot check that point. Yeah, that's the 50%, and that's the 382. So yeah, everything is indicating that we should see movement back down here. Let's get rid of that. What else does everyone look at? They probably look at RSI, and because most people don't know what they're doing, they'll probably leave the settings as it is. So on the weekly chart, this is where you have to be very careful of recency bias. And people look at this and go, oh wow, RSI is really accurate. It's called pretty much loads of different retraces. And yeah, I guess it has. But don't forget, there are many times where it hasn't. Yes, it's caught, you know, like that one, and that one. But like if that one here and you tried to sell, it would have been very short-lived. You would have been burned. So you've got to be very careful. And again, like with this one, a lot of people would have gone, oh, okay, it's doing this little jagged thing. So when it comes back down here, I'm going to buy. Guess what? If you bought here, you would then be burned. So you've got to be very careful. You have to know what market and when to use a particular indicator. Right now, RSI is saying that we've had a little peak. We're on our way down. How far will this go is another matter. I don't think we're going to get down here. I'm pretty sure of that. But we could see a little bit more movement, or at least round down to sort of this level, which, I mean, RSI is basically indicating we've got a little bit more movement to go. What you should not do is go, right, that distance here relates to that distance there. So if we're thinking it's going to go down here, it means we're going to go down here. Don't do that. But again, even if you did do that, it's still, yeah, everything is pointing towards 6,000, 7,000. Whether you act upon that is another question. What else is everyone looking at? They're probably looking stochastics. Let's add stochastics. Stock. There we go. Yeah, again, stochastics looks like it's peaking. So again, this is on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, yeah, we're same sort of picture. Long story short, even if you are paying attention to these, they're saying a little bit more falling is to come. But when we're going on the weekly chart, I mean, realistically, what we should be looking at is something like this. So yeah, I mean, this pullback, if this does happen, it is the pullback I've been waiting for. Admittedly, it's not back down to these lows, but the 6,000. I'm obsessed with this 6,000 level. For the last year, I've been obsessed with this level. But yeah, I'm looking at something like this. Maybe not that aggressive. 2020. Oh yeah, actually maybe. Again, looking at the log chart, it gives you all the same pictures. So that is, so that's crypto stuff. Let's quickly look at FX. Whoops, sorry. Let's start from the top. We've got Euro Swissy, that's kicked in now. So we're shorting this. We got wicked in nicely actually. If we look in here, we got the normal entry that got the low ball. The low ball kicked in, pinged off straight away. Having a little pullback day at the moment, but yeah, tomorrow we should see further falling, so that's good. We have dollar Swissy. Okay, so we placed this yesterday. It's activated. We've got pinged in with this one here, as expected. We've got a nice safe stop all the way up here. Our low balls didn't get triggered, but it's still early days, so leaving that as is. Pound Swissy, that is still trucking off in the right direction, so we can actually take a little bit more money off the table. We can move our stops down to this level here, so let's start moving these. So yep, that's that. This one, this entry order, we had a little pullback, not quite enough for this one. I'm gonna leave it for the moment. Stand by. Yeah, I'm gonna move it down just below this 2650 level. And in terms of the stop, I'm not happy with that. So realistically, if we do get activated, I'd want us 80 odd pips. So 80 pip stop. So let's remove that. Create a new one. We're not tiny little trade for this one. So there we go. That's the new one. So that's that one. Aussie yen. In fact, just 1 second. Yeah, so stops our move. Yeah, so with these ones, we're 347, almost 1,000 pips up with the pound Swissy one. So that's good. Aussie yen now. Let's have a look. Yeah, 127 and 70 odd pips. Having a slight pullback. This is the stops. I'm gonna leave the stops where they are at the moment. I'd like to see this move a little bit further down. I am quite tempted to. So if we are adding, 85. So I'm actually going to short this because we are having a pullback to the 8 with an 80. What would it be? So an 85 pip stop. So this one only 85. So there we go. So that's Aussie yen, pound yen. These trades are still rocking. 466 pips with this one, 410. Yeah, this is actually, it hasn't really moved much. So let's look at this. This is actually forming a bearish rectangle on the well, it could potentially on the 4-hour chart. It's still a bit early. There's some sort of compression going on here, whether it's something like this and we're going to see further falling, or this plays on for a little bit further. So either way, I'm just gonna monitor for the moment. We've still got our entry here, which is in a nice place, so just monitoring it. In terms of the stops, we can actually move these down. So there we go. So that's that. Pound, that's pound yen. Euro Kiwi, finally. Euro Kiwi. yeah, so when I last looked at it, we were down here. So I was going to say, yeah, it's finally moving. We're just having a little pullback. Yeah, nothing to report at the moment. Just let this roll out. And that is it. Hopefully that finds you well. Chat soon. Bye.